One of the biggest lies in this society today is that there's this massive difference in the way that black and brown people of color are treated after a natural disaster and the way that white people are treated after a natural disaster, right? And you know this story, right? You've heard this a million times in your life. You've been taught it since birth. You know that white people are the privileged people with all the wealth and power, and after a natural disaster, all available resources are rallied to their communities, and all of their homes and businesses are totally rebuilt, their communities are restored, their wealth is reestablished, at least on par with what they had before, but probably actually improved a little bit. You know this. You've been taught this by your academics at school, by the big media, by your government officials. And for the teachers who've been teaching this very important moral story, one of their favorite examples of this blatant white racism is the horrible story of Hurricane Katrina. It's held out as a shining example of white hate. Well, now with the recent storms in the southeastern United States in a predominantly white area, we have real life, boots on the ground data from both storms. And since no one on the internet, to my knowledge, has ever dared to trudge into these muddy waters, I thought I would trudge into it and prove that this is an outright bold-faced lie. Okay, so here's a map of the United States, and what we have here is a simple side-by-side, head-to-head comparison between two different storms. One storm, the horrible Hurricane Katrina, hit this area of the United States about 20 years ago. This, for those of you who don't know, is an overwhelmingly black and brown area of the United States. Recently, we've had another storm hit the southern part of the United States in this area. And for those of you who don't know, this is a predominantly white area of the United States. So we have a black hurricane and we have a white hurricane. It was really easy. All I did was just get on Wikipedia and look up the data on these two storms. And I'm just going to share this data with you, okay? Helicopters dispatched to the disaster areas. Black hurricane, 730 helicopters. The white hurricane, 1. Supply trucks bringing food and medicine to the afflicted area. The black hurricane received 1,900 supply trucks. The white hurricane received 1. What about airplanes? Airplanes dispatched to the areas for search and rescue purposes, for supplying purposes. To the black hurricane, 4,095 sorties flown in that area. To the white hurricane, none that I'm aware of. None, okay? What about military, active duty military? To the black hurricane, we sent 8,300 active duty military personnel. To the white hurricane, 1,000. 8,000 to 1,000, okay? What about National Guard? National Guard troops? To the black hurricane, we sent over 50,000 American National Guard troops into the black hurricane zone. To the white hurricane, 6,500. So about 8 or 9 times more to the black hurricane. What about finance? What about money being spent on the relief effort? To the black hurricane, we spent $63.2 billion with a B. To the white hurricane, I'm not exactly sure yet, but so far I can find $0 actually allocated by Congress and the president to assist in this disaster. So $63.2 billion to nothing, okay? What about food? Number of meals sent to the afflicted area? The black hurricane received over 25 million meals. The white hurricane, 0. 0 meals have come from the federal government that I know of. Okay? What about water? The black hurricane received 6,900,000 liters of fresh drinking water. The white hurricane, 0. None that I'm aware of. None that I'm aware of. What about housing? During the black hurricane, we had over 700,000 people living in mobile government housing that was sent to the region. 700,000 people. In the white hurricane, 0. None that I'm aware of. No mobile housing, no temporary housing has been set up there at all. What about medical care? 40,000 people received medical care during the black hurricane. Doctors and nurses, 40,000 plus. In the white hurricane, 0. So there's my quick spreadsheet I made. I got all my sources came from Wikipedia. This is readily available information in the public domain, and I'm not sure why these people who talk about Hurricane Katrina all the time aren't aware of all this help that came, but maybe they should go get on Wikipedia occasionally. I don't know. By the way, both of these two regions, the black region and the white region, they have basically the same populations, a little over 1 million. So they were a fantastic head-to-head comparison over what happens when a natural disaster strikes a black area and a natural disaster strikes a white area. And you know, I made a video about 2 or 3 years ago where I was warning white people that in a natural disaster, you know, you're on your own, okay? That's why I made this video, is because I'm trying to get through to you to light a fire under your butt if you're white, to get prepared, because no one's coming to help you. And this data right here shows that, okay? This is a side-by-side, head-on-head comparison of regions right next to each other with the same population. And look at these numbers. White people, you are on your own.